part of the book when Violet sat on the dragon, the black dragon, the deadliest dragon of all, you can see. And then he says, we are going to put on a show. You will not fall, I will not allow it. I mean, a dragon is talking in your head. I mean, it's just so beautiful. I love this book. Guys, I have to tell you that I am currently reading Fourth Wing, and I must say that I'm in love with this book. Okay, so this book, I am loving fantasy, so I read ACOTAR series and I love that series. Brilliantly written. It's so good. The first book gives like a Beauty and the Beast kind of vibe, but then the second part, oh my god, that's a 5-star book. All the that night courts and the day courts, spring courts, all the courts are there. You get to know that there are lords who take care of every fairyland, spring court, autumn, similar to that. And then there is this night lord, high lord, and he is just, I'm in love with that book. It's not just that, the love story that goes on in that, overall everything, the fantasy, the fairyland, the human being turning into a high fae, everything is just so good, and the writing style is so good. I'm in love. The third book was a break for me, like it's just too much detail for the war that was there, and I was like that it could be around 300 pages or 350 pages, because 570 pages were a lot. Like the writer was giving a lot of details for the war, and obviously I was expecting more of Raisin and Fairy's love story, but that was not there. On the other hand, there was like the war with the king is going on, and how Tamlin was reacting to them and everything, But the second book, where she was over Tamlin, and Tamlin was being overprotective, and he was trying hide her in that house, and the story move on to that pact Raisin had with Fairy, and he took her to the night court. It was so good. Like I did not even imagine that this is going to happen. Like we know that Fairy is going to, if I'm pronouncing her name correct, we knew that she is going to get married to Tamlin, and then after everything under the mountain, we know that how much she has changed as a person. I mean, I love that. Okay, we were talking about Fourth Wing. I recently started reading Fourth Wing, and I don't know what to do with my room's lighting. It's just so bad. Okay, I think this is nice. Okay, so this book is all about dragons, as the main character Violet is going to enter the Rider's Quadrant. They call it Rider's Quadrant, and she is going to fly a dragon. She wanted to become a scribe. She wanted to go into a scribe quadrant, but her mother forced her. She's a general, and her sister, her brother are in the Rider Quadrants, and the mother forced her to go into the Rider Quadrant. Okay, so her mother forced her to take part in the Rider's Quadrant, and she goes for it. She's petite, she is not that strong, because she started her training like 8 months ago, and we get to know that there is like too much. It's kind of a giving Divergent vibe, Hunger Games vibe, but also the story is different, because here we are talking about dragons and the big buildings and big castles from where they have to go and like prove themselves to be worthy of to ride a dragon. But the story is very interesting, because I just read like 300 pages in like I don't know, like 2 nights, and it's just very interesting. I know now why people are giving it 5-star, because it's not just that this person, obviously we know that in Hunger Games the person has to prove themselves in Divergent. She also has to choose a quadrant. Here she has to ride a dragon, but the plus point is here is that the dragons are very cool. It's not like Harry Potter or any other like a Game of Thrones kind of dragons. It's like the dragons has a voice and they can talk to human beings, and they're much more important than human beings are very insignificant here. Like they are being killed, like 200 to some people were there to be a part of it, and then 167, and then the dragons are 101, and so they don't want to get bond with the human beings. So it's very interesting. I am 300 pages now, and now you get to see that she is falling for her enemy Zayden. Now she has 2 dragons, and I am not going to spoil for you because I don't know the story after this, because I have to read it and then I know what will happen. Main just the synopsis, or I don't know, the plot is that she has to prove herself to ride a dragon, and she was doing that, and I like the character, but there are some similarities with the ACOTAR series, not just as a writing style or as a story wise, because obviously ACOTAR series is totally different, but when we talk about the mates is in terms of dragons, it kind of reminds me Raisin and Fairy from ACOTAR series. And then after ACOTAR series, this season I read this book that is fantasy, because I don't usually read fantasy books, because I'm more of like contemporary and literature, sort of contemporary or classical sort of books. And then if I am stuck somewhere, like I can't read anymore, I start reading with the romance or comedy, sort of like that, like Dance of Thieves and those kind of books, which are historical, as well as there are like a little bit hints of romance going on, and there is a quest where people are striving to get their lands, and I don't know, the Dance of Thieves, there is like a whole action packed scene going on, and then there is a romance between a thief and the leader of that area, who at the end they got married. And the second book was so much like war, and there is so much fighting and all that stuff going on, but then I like the first book better than the second one. Similar to that, I like the first 2 part of ACOTAR series more than the third part. Third part is good, I'm not saying it's not good. I am the person who love action too much. Like I can read or I can watch action movies, and I'm like a biggest fan. But I was reading it, it's 570 pages book, and it's like, oh my god, like I was craving like something. We know there was war is going on, but we needed something else too. But the Raisin and Fairy, when they got married, it was like we did not get a big wedding like we wanted. I especially wanted, but I haven't read the 4th book. All of the characters has their own viewpoint. And then the 5th book, I'm not sure I'm going to read the 5th book. I think this video is becoming more of all the books I have read recently, but it's okay. I'm just overall reviewing what I have read in past 2 to 3 months. I also started 10,000 Doors of January, but I'm stuck. Like I'm stuck on page 30th. I cannot read it. Like I started this book like last year, or I don't know, like 2 years back, but still I'm stuck on this book. I don't know why. It's a story about a girl that is being bound in a house, and she cannot leave it because she is black, I guess, or I don't know, she is Indian. Her father is Indian, who is on a world tour, and she's living with this man who does not give her any freedom, and she has to act in a certain way that she cannot do stuff. When she told him that she saw this door her to somewhere else, he was kind of punishing her. Like he removed everything from her room, and I don't know why he was punishing her, but it kind of scared me out. Maybe that's why I cannot read this. and I mean I have to read it eventually. After fourth book I have to read it. After this book I am thinking of reading a list actually. Cruel Prince, I've heard good things about that Cruel Prince. And then I don't know what else Wicked series. I am into fantasy these days, so I am going to read the Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Feared, Kingdom of the Cursed. So I think I am going to read that after this. By the way, can we all appreciate my little bit effort to get ready and go and watch a play? And I think I'm not going because one of the friend who is going with me just ditched me, and I'm stuck because I don't want to go alone. So look at this beautiful pimple, and here these pimples, and this is the mark my cat just gave me. I have to show you my cat. Guys, I need to introduce you to someone. My baby. So sleepy, so cute, so small. You're so small. So small. So cute.